with the cold weather starting to hit in this part of the world, rug up, have that nice cup of tea or a Milo ready, and time to listen to Dear Andrea. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along to the third edition of Dear Andrea. Thank you very much for your company and having a bit of a listen of all the little bits and pieces that we've got on the show. I've got myself a cup of tea, a cup that I got from one of the little cheapo shops. It's got Little Miss Fun, and hopefully we're going to have some fun this week. Hope you are doing nice and well. If you're in hospital, goodness me, the craziness that's still going on with this coronavirus. I did see a silly one today, and I sent it to a few friends actually, which was a takeoff of a 1970s movie that you could say was sort of like the coronavirus, but a voiceover talking about what could be happening for today. But look, to recap from last week's show, interesting having a few comments in regard to sex education and family and friends coming out and chatting, and my talking to my sister-in-law the other day and my brother hearing the fact that reminded them of where did I come from back in the 1980s. And actually a lady here in town, having a chat to her, and as soon as I mentioned the name, where did I come from, she went into absolute giggles and pissed herself. Well, not literally, but was just, when I left the store, Sandra was just constantly in near tears of laughter of just remembering it and, you know, explaining all the bits and pieces. So a very special hello to family members and to friends as well. And it was interesting. Another thing of the conversation was it reminded me of having the sex education at high school in Western Victoria back in the 1980s. So I'm referencing to sort of say that where did I come from? 1973, and here in southern New South Wales, that's being used, of course, for the high school, and 1973 for 2020. And I did want to reflect more on that. Yes, people were saying, yes, it has all the bits and bobs of everything, and this happens, that happens, but it really gets down to the fact our society needs to teach more about respect and understanding of people. But that reminded me, when I was in there, my twin brother, his teacher couldn't pronounce the words penis or vagina. I'll put my teeth back in. As he was saying it, I can remember quite clearly, and as a person unsure of who I was or what was going on in my life even back then, and let's just say the arguments of Andy and Andrew and Andrea, my goodness, that's a topic for another conversation for another day. But one thing I do remember, now in the 1980s, so the sex education that I had back then, I think that it was still 1950s. It was a little A5 booklet, and trying to read it and understand it to try and think of who I am and think to myself as well of how other people might have perceived it. And the weirdest part about it, it actually had the piece to say, with two men holding hands, and left you to there to ponder, to question, what is wrong with this? And it's really sad, our society of acceptance and loving of people. I did see in a recent Facebook page some absolute horrible racist comments that were made in this area. And I put a comment to say that, you know, that we should be inclusive of all people and bringing love and understanding.
The following segment may contain a variety of erotic writings. If your heart is of concern, please don't persist.
Hello, darlings, and another excerpt of the novel The Pearl, which was a monthly published paper in 1886. And this one is La Rose d'Amour. The excitement thickens. The combat grows hotter and hotter. Heavens, what pleasure! What a joy, ecstasy. Oh, how my lively partner kept time to all my fiancé's desires. In what a sea of delight was I plunged. What an undescribable luxurious heat reigned in the luscious folds of her naughty bits. Oh, ye gods! Oh, how often I daren't be stiffened arrow through the rich juicy flesh has deliciously sensitive quiver. Oh, my goodness. Welcome back to Dear Andrea, our Wednesday evening edition. A cup of tea. I think I might need something a little bit stiffer drink. And the main focus of today's show is, well, for coming out, is female presentation. And this was a thing when I was first coming out, and in Shepparton, it feels like 100 years ago, but going back about 4 or 5 years ago now. And the conversation was all in regard for transgender people was how do you present in public? How passable are you? And it really sort of drove you mad is that the amount of work that you'd have to do just to present, and even conversations with cis women and other trans girls as well, is that there's no difference between cis girls and trans girls because, and you can understand making so many friends, female friends, cis female friends as well as trans friends, is that they're having the same problem. It's the question of, every girl you talk to is like, as soon as I get home, the girls are popped out, we're nice and bloody relaxed. And also, always, because I try to use humour a lot, because people a discussion I actually had with a guy I used to work with the other day was the question in regard to the pronouns that are required. And look, I just sort of say, look, the thing is that I'm me. Either call me Andy or Andrea. I'm happy with either. Just don't call me Andrew. Oh, my goodness me. I had that today. It drove me bloody mad. I had to go up to the lady, and I've known her for a few years, and I said, love, please don't call me Andrew. I fucking hate it. Oh, my God. But the thing is that it's just being yourself. And one of the best things I did see in Melbourne just a couple of years ago was there was a younger lady, and she was wearing the most gorgeous of dresses. And I thought, yes, she's got it, because she was wearing a real comfortable pair of sneakers. And all of this presentation, I mean, the question is it women doing it for women? There's a usual statement to say that women dress for women. But the thing is that, I mean, most of my girlfriend base are very casual dresses. And look, the thing is, if you want to tart up from time to time, that's your business. I did that for a chuka the other week. Caught up with a lovely lady, had a lovely morning tea, and just enjoyed being out and about. But the thing is that you have to realise is that not everyone is going to be a supermodel. But the thing is that there is no perfect person. It's finding happiness within yourself. And that's the most important thing. Today, no wig. Being in a small country town, it's difficult to be able to leave this house where I am now, in the situation that I have here right now, to be able to comfortably put makeup when I want to put on a wig. And then I got told a few years ago that I was overdressed. And my goodness, it's only taken me 5 minutes to get ready. Today was just a lilac-coloured little $5 beanie that I got from the markets a few years ago. A lady in her 80s, it's her niece from Athara. She gets her auntie in her 80s to make it. So I'm hopefully going to buy a couple more as well. But it's nice and comfortable. Wore today was just a simple blouse, wore a nice pair of ladies' trackies. Well, not really trackies, but sort of nice sort of dress trackies. I got them from, not Autograph. I'm trying to think. I'm having a bit of a blonde moment at the moment. It was one of the shops in Albury. I got it ages ago. But they look absolutely gorgeous pair. And look out and about and just enjoy myself. Put on a bit of, not lippy today, but a bit of lip balm. And that's the thing, is finding comfort within yourself. But you also have to look at, if you're having people having a go at you, constructive criticism, yes. Trans girl I knew in Shepparton a few years ago, I haven't heard from a couple of years. She used to say to me when I used to drop into a hairdresser's and basically said, Jesus, girl, how the hell do you get out and about with hairy legs? And I just say, well, if they're crazy enough to look at me, it's not my problem. So that's the thing of presentation. I always have a bit of a joke. A few years ago before coming out, my mother would introduce me to her friends and she would say, Janine, I'd like to introduce you to my son. This is Andrew. And Andrew looks like an elephant. And then when I became a bit more comfortable with myself and a bit more, chance to say something back, if I got, Denise, I'd like to introduce my son, this is Andrew, and Andrew looks like an elephant. To which I'd turn to say, well, as you know, my mother, who looks like me in drag gone bad. But, I mean, the thing is that whether or not, I usually takes me only about 5 minutes, pop some makeup on. I just out and about and enjoying myself. If I dress to impress, it's basically just for myself. But the thing is that I look at it's being comfortable within yourself and then finding the friendships that you have around you that are comfortable with you as well. And look, it really gets down for coming out is that I found people that I'd known for many years, come out and about. One particular guy, as soon as I mentioned to him on social media, he basically said to me, I've got to go now. But then, of course, I heard back from him about 12 months later because he wanted he was doing a radio show and wanted someone to do some imaging. So it's a funny world like that, but you find that who your true friends are the ones that stick by you. And one thing I've found is that a good group of girlfriends, gal pals, is that they really do stick by each other and they are, very supportive of each other. And the main thing I always say is that I never hold any judgments on people. People are living their life, and that's all that really matters, and that the love and support that you can give is the most important thing. And now, here's a word I found on the internet a little while ago. Actually, it reminded me of a friend that, I think it was, a friend Sally had sent it to me about a year or two ago, I'm pretty sure. Have a listen, bit of a laugh, a few naughty words. Oh my goodness me, don't be too shocked.
Women have told everyone to just fuck off. Tired of being judged for choosing to have children or not have children, to have children and go back to work, to have children and not go back to work, for being too thin, too fat, too pushy, too unambitious, too hot, not hot enough, or even for just daring to be alive, women have stressed that everyone can go fuck themselves. Nathan Muir has been gauging the reaction because apparently a man is the best person to report this story.
If you have a vagina, people have the right to judge you on every single thing you do, even what you do with your vagina. Or so it has been up until now. I spoke to one of womankind, or the clitorati, as no one is calling them, about their backlash.
Enough's enough. The message is clear, and the message is, you're right, we will do as you command. Just kidding, it's fuck off.
That's all from me.
And at the end of that particular one, she actually had the two fingers up that you might have heard the crowd laughing in the background. Well, that's my lot for this week. Have a fabulous week. Big cheerio to Aya, to sister-in-law Louise, Vanessa, my sister-in-law as well. Love yous all, darlings. And, of course, my lovely darling in the United States of America, Priscilla, darling. And look, if you would like a cheerio, just let me know. I'm also going to say a very special hello to Debbie as well, my friend Debbie. Hope you are doing nice and well, Debbie. And my thoughts are certainly with you as well. And everyone else listening, have yourself a fabulous remainder of the week and keep that chin up. Big smiles and big loves.